Let's see. So this is sorted on highest volume, but if we search by, well, we can search by gap, or we can search by float, lowest float. Obviously, we need volume. Well, you could check with a catalyst and stuff like that, but volume is preferred. But Anvs is the leading gapper this morning, up 133%. And right now, it's consolidating. Its pre-market high is 40, but it's already shown a little bit of choppiness in that area. On the daily chart, it shows a pretty big window here from 940 to 1061. So I do like the idea of it, but I'm not sure. High that last candle was 934. I'll probably just have an order just at 950, so it's kind of ready to go, and we can watch it as we get closer to the bell and see what that might look like. But again, it's been a little choppy and the price is a little higher, so want to be careful. I want to see obvious entries. Obvious entries are going to resolve the best and be the cleanest. So right now, I would say maybe 920. So let's see, there's 912, 920. I'll put an order at 925. So I've got a starter at 912, and I'm going to add at 920, and I'll use a stop. I would say my stop at this point, I just added at 925. My stop at this point would be $9. Let me put this chart back up, Anvs. I'm looking for this to break the pre-market high. So I'm still holding right now. I'm going to put an order at 950 to add, because then we have room on the daily to 1061. So the high of that candle was 34. So over 34 is a possible long. I'm going to watch this for a second on this little pullback. You can see how we've kind of got this consolidation underneath 40. So 40 is the clear breakout spot. There's 26, 27. All right, there we go. So just added at 34, looking for the break over 44, 45, and the $0.50. So I'm just going to try to ride this momentum through this breakout spot. Let's see if we get that break over 40. That'd be a flat top breakout. $26 by 29, 5 million shares of volume. I stopped out at 25 there. You could see all of a sudden that little flush, that little sell there. The low of the last pullback was 85, so that was a small winner for me, $400. But that's fine. It's a small start. So, and again, that entry was the break over 920, right here. This little micro pullback, and what we essentially have now is a double top at 920 or 940. So we can let this pull back. We can let it consolidate for a second, and then try to come in for the next trade. So I'll put my order at 950. So back to 950. This candle, as you can see, definitely increasing volume, which is good. But then red volume on that candle as we're dipping back down. The low of the last pullback was 885. So I want to kind of see here. Let's see, we still have 2.5 minutes left on this current 5-minute candle, which at the moment is red. We're coming down to support at 9. So one of the things I'll look at in this context is, are we going to have bid support at 9? Will it hold 9, the whole dollar, or will it break? So if it holds 9, then that can be good. I mean, that could be an opportunity for a dip trade off 9, but if it fails, then that's going to be a problem. Hang on one second. Yep, I see that. Hey guys, good morning. All right, so we're going to start breaking down our watch list here for Tuesday. So we've got about 25 minutes to the bell. Right now, I've already taken one trade on Anvs. I made $400 on it, long at 9.12, and then added at 9.35. It hit a high of 9.40 and then failed. So I'm watching to see how it consolidates in this area. It's kind of a double top at 9.40, which needs to break. 940 also is a level on the daily chart that then gives us room up to 1060. So I'm kind of letting it pull back here for a second. We still have a minute left on this candle, but watching. So I'm in there at 930. I'm going to try to buy this to anticipate the break. There's the break. Now I want to see, I'm going to put my new order at 950 to add. I want to try to ride this momentum up towards the next daily trigger, which is 1060. So I added there at 48. So now I'm looking for this to squeeze up into the 60s. The next add spot is going to be 55. Added at 55. So I haven't taken profit off the table. I'm still holding. I want to ride this momentum on this up towards 65, 75. This 5-minute candle now has high green volume with a high of 55. I added right at 55, which is a little aggressive, but I'm going to let it pull back here. The high is 55. Just added there at 48. So I try to add on the dips and then catch those pops up through the high. This one, 955, then 960, 970. What I'd like to see is a squeeze up towards $10. So it's got to open up a little bit more here over 65 and 75 to give us that squeeze. So we'll see what it does. 51 on the ask right now. So what's the high here? 50, 60. It's at 60. And now dipping down a little bit. So so what we're seeing right now is a dip back to that 940, which is the previous breakout spot. So it breaks out, then it comes back down, tests that level, and then off of that, I would look for a squeeze higher. I'm still holding. Got 48, 50, there's 55. All right, so we've got leading gapper here, Anvs 146%, 4.28 million share float, obviously moving pretty quickly here. We're going to break 60. So I took some profit off at 56 there. It seems a little heavy for right now, and I'll hold the rest and just give it a little bit of time to work. So it needs to break over 60. So Anvs was the stock so far that I've taken a couple trades on. Let's see, my profit on it right now is $1,159. So nothing huge. But right now, what's important is that it broke that 940 daily level, because then that gives it room up to 1061. So this area right here could be an opportunity to take a new trade. I just want to see what it does here, because it's got to hold around this level. So I could actually put an order at 41. Well, might not fill if I do that. I'll just watch it for a second. The low of that pullback was 34, so it broke down for a second, popped back up. I'm going to put my order at 61. And I'm just going to watch it right now. Watching the level 2, watching the tape. There's some sells going through there at 50, so you can see some people are selling. So Anvs, a stock with a history of making some big moves, which is good. Got news out on it today. So it's a biotech stock. Receives institutional review board approval to initiate phase 2 study, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. We've noticed pre-market recently that when these stocks start to open up, they don't wait till the bell rings, and sometimes the majority of the move is pre-market, and then once the bell rings, they fade. So I'm kind of trying to capitalize on the pre-market action, especially in this case with 6.3 million shares of volume. The 5-minute at this point, a little extended. Keeps dipping down here to the 34 30s, but then catches support. There isn't anything else that I'm super honed in on yet from the gap scan. CRVS is a gapper, but it doesn't have, it's not as nice of a chart. It's below the VWAP. So the low of this last candle was 34. If this candle breaks 34, then you'll have the first 5-minute candle making a new low. So at this point, this is kind of the beginning of what looks like maybe a little bit of a pullback, but if it breaks over 60, obviously it's breaking through the highs, so that's bullish. I could do dip trades on this. We'll see how long it consolidates up here. So there's a little sell-off, dip down to 30. So what are we going to do here?
Let's start with the directions.
Some sellers.
Using the computer. In the video player, select Settings. Now click Quality. Choose your preferred video quality here.
This candle has a high of 52. Still a couple minutes left on it.
And that's it.
So I'm going to watch down here. We've got a buyer, 10,000 shares, 11,000 at 30. You can see that on the level 2. Those of you guys who don't know how to read level 2 or haven't read the tape, our 4th of July sales are still running. If you'd like to join our classes, the Warrior Starter and the Warrior Pro. Mike is teaching summer school right now.
So that's how you change your outcome resolution in OBS for streaming or recording video. If you have any questions about this, then comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you'd like to see more OBS tutorials, check the link in the description. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my channel, Gauging Gadgets.
So let me glance at a couple of these others.
Thank you so much for watching.
I appreciate you guys who are tuning in for the free watch list. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. So UAVS is a pretty thickly traded stock. I could keep an eye on it. I don't know if it's one that would do kind of multiple halts and give a little bit of a bigger move, but I'm not super optimistic on that one. So I'm very curious to see this bidder at 31 Anvs to see whether or not when it starts to get sold into, if it's if it's a hidden buyer and there's someone accumulating shares, or if it just goes and then drops. Got my order to add on a dip here. I'm just kind of watching it for a second. We've still got another minute left on this 5-minute candle, which has a high of 52. Right now you can see it's kind of consolidation in this area. So order at 61 at the least. First 5-minute candle to make a new high in 30 seconds would be a valid setup. Daily resistance above 940 is at 1060. So the high of this current candle is 58, so 60 is the breakout spot. So I'm adding there for the break of 60. Now we've got the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, and 72 is my next add spot. So watch over 60, adding at 65 there for the break of 70. So right now I'm just kind of riding this momentum here up into the 70s. Over 75 could be another add, adding there 72. 74 actually, and I want to try to catch a squeeze up towards $10. So now we're getting a 5-minute breakout, which looks pretty nice. High of this candle is 75, so let's look for 75 to break. So we're seeing some nice action on this. So we want to see the pop over 75 and then up to 85, 95. That grind up towards $10. So right now, micro pullback under 75. There's 74. First 1-minute candle to make a new high is going to be the next setup. We've got 7.2 million shares of volume on Anvs. I'm going to watch to try to buy dips on this. Now that we've got a 5-minute breakout, pretty high volume, I want to see if it continues. There you go, there's 80. So if you had added there at 75, gave a quick pop up to 80, then pull back. The new high is 83. This on the 1 minute is looking a little bit like a false breakout. The high is set 83, now pulling back a little bit. We'll see what it does. Maybe it comes back down to 950. So I have taken profit except for small size, I'm holding at 966, and I'll see whether or not I could do a dip trade. I'm going to take a dip right there at 51. I just bought at 51, so buying off of the $0.50. And now I want to catch the first 1 minute candle to make a new high up over 65, 75. So when a critical level like that holds, I like to buy the dip. So bought that dip there at 52. Pretty good fill, 51 and 53 actually. So 52 average. So yeah, I'm watching, so knowing that $0.50 and whole dollars are critical levels of support and sometimes resistance, as I saw that selling there, I took that dip for the bounce off of that, what I expected would be critical support. So right now, I want to see if it's going to break for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high, which is going to be over 66. So if it breaks 66, then I would look for a move back up towards the high. The current 5 minute candle is a little bit of a topping tail. It's not perfect. And you can see that this stock is a little choppy compared to some of the others that we've traded. So I sold the rest there at 55. It feels like it's, I don't know, weighting down a little bit, a little heavy, but let's see if it holds. I'll put a new order at 53. Back in at 51. So I'm back in at 51 because, again, you see that bid support there. That support at the $0.50. So I'm back in at 51. I'm looking for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. It's holding support. I see there was a 10,000 or 11,000 share buyer there at 50. So now I want to try to ride this momentum. First 1 minute candle to make a new high. So let's see. So we've got 57 by 60. I have an order at 61 to take a little profit off the table. We'll see if that gets filled. I don't love the doji on the 5 minute. I sold at 57. And we'll see. The problem here is now that 5 minute candle closed red. Yeah. So it's not ideal. All right, well, in any case, and, you know, you can see it's clearly starting to pull back a little bit. You've got a red doji at the top. A couple dip trades were okay. Didn't end up curling back to the highs of 83. All right, so Anvs, leading gapper still. 8 million shares of volume. 8 million shares of volume is impressive. So we've got some good volume on it. Let it pull back a little bit. 10,000 share seller there at 23. So since it broke 950, the next support level that I would look at would be around 9. The volume weight average price is at 892. So we could get a bounce off $9. So I'll have an order at maybe 9.15. So GMBL, yeah, I see that. It's a big move. What's the percentage gap on it? The high is 940 as well, similar price range. Later on volume careful on these with light volume. The high is, let's see, what's the high of that candle? 940. Big spreads too. So we'll see what it does. Somewhat recent reverse split. History of making bigger moves this day here. It went from 5 to almost 10 on, is that 10 million shares? Yeah, 10 million shares of volume, so that would have been high relative volume. Yesterday it traded on 240,000 shares. Pre-market it's already got 160, so it is going to have high relative volume today. VWAP is at 844. All right, so that's one to keep an eye on. We'll see what that does. CRVS is the leading gap, second leading gapper. It's below the VWAP. NAOV, third leading gapper, also below the VWAP. UAVS a little further down. Pre-market high is 74. So I could have an order ready, but I'm not sure if I'm going to take that. Anvs has hit a low of 909. There's UAVS at 75, but again, it's a cheaper stock. GMBL up 35% is not on the scans, and I'm not sure why that is. It should be, but it's not. We've got about 5 minutes to the bell here. Nice bounce on ANVS. I was waiting for it to get a little closer to $9 and maybe test the VWAP. The VWAP is at 893, and sometimes, you know, if I'm a little greedy there and say, oh, I'm not going to get in unless it taps the VWAP or tests 9, I might just miss the whole trade. So in that case, I missed a 15-cent bounce. Not the most impressive I've ever seen, but it's a bounce nonetheless. All right, so we've got about 3.5 minutes to the bell. So I encourage you guys to do that pre-trading checklist. Did you eat well? Did you sleep well? Do you have a couple stocks on watch that you like this morning? If you do, what's the condition of the overall market? Overall market's pretty hot. That's good. But I don't want you to blindly follow me or anyone else. You've got to execute the trades because you understand the strategy. Blindly following is not a recipe for success in this market. You guys know 9 out of 10 day traders fail. Those who are successful, they're not successful because they're blindly following people. They're successful because they've learned their own strategy. And many of us trade a very similar strategy. If we're trading momentum, we trade, we're all trading a similar variation of momentum. If we're reversals, we're trading reversals. If we're short sellers, we trade the inverse of shorting momentum as it's coming back down. So, whatever the strategy is, you've got to have a strategy. All right. So, as I'm sitting right here, ANVS is a tough one because it made this big move pre-market, but then high topping tail doji with high volume. So, not a very pretty top there. So that's a problem. CRVS doesn't look that great, so I'm not interested in that right now. NAOV has lighter volume and is sold off. UAVS, I'm not really interested in that at the moment, but I would say maybe I can look at where the halt levels are. That's a possibility. And then, yeah, GMBL, which hit the scanners, or was popping up a second ago. That had a high of 940, and has now pulled back down to 8, so it broke below the VWAP. But so I don't know about that one. But if we see it hit the high day Momo scanners, we'll probably... Oh, remember, right, that was from a pre-market move. So hit a high of 809, pulled back, then from 809 on that breakout, went all the way up to 940. So that's $1.30 on a 5-minute bull flag, or a 1-minute bull flag. So if we get a bull flag on it, that may present an opportunity. So I'll put that one over on another chart as a maybe. I could see it making a bigger move, but you know, spreads are going to be bigger, volatility is higher. I have a little profit cushion from pre-market trades on ANVS, but not a big cushion. So I've got to be a little careful as I start the morning here. And you know, perhaps I will continue to be focused on ANVS. The high this last 5-minute candle is 935. Maybe I'll watch to see if it does do a dip off of the volume weighted average price. So possible dip on the VWAP, and yeah, so 2 stocks to watch pre-market: ANVS or at the open. ANVS is a maybe, GMBL is a maybe as it forms a 5-minute setup, and then high day Momo scanners. All right, so again, reminder, those streaming the free watch list, make sure you check out our 4th of July sales, and hopefully we'll see you over in the day trading chat room here at Warrior Trading. All right. Okay, so I'm watching ANVS. The high of the last 5-minute candle was, well, it just broke there. It was 34. But I'm kind of watching this to see if it comes down towards 9. Is it going to break 9? Watch here. I've got a starter at 905. So I just bought at 905, 12,000 shares. I'm taking profit off at 925. That's $2,400 in just a fraction of a second. New orders to buy a dip, watching, adding right there. Just bought the dip at 98. I'm doing that because that is the bounce off VWAP. Holding 1,500 shares there at 9 and selling at 908 for right now. The low of that candle was 88. So the VWAP is at 93. So this is moment of truth. Is it going to hold the VWAP or is it going to fail? It's got to hold the VWAP. I'm not feeling super confident at the moment about where to get back in it. High of that 1 minute was 945. Bit of a wild open. All right, so I'll put my order at 950. 9.8 million shares of volume. Hesitating because I feel like it would be a chase to buy it up here. The high there was 960. It's just been such a big range. It's like, where, if I buy it here on a dip, how much farther could it drop? If I buy it as it squeezes up, I mean, could I be wrong on it? I don't know. High there was 960. It flashed to 960. If I was short, where would I stop out? 960 probably. I'll take a long here at 957. So I'm buying at 957 for the break of 60, and I want to try to catch that squeeze up to 65.75. Watching. High of this candle was 64. There's 64, 65. I want to see it. I'm going to stop out. I cut the loss on that. High was 65. I was in a little high. Added at 31. Just bought at 30 at 20. 27 is my cost basis. 3,000 shares. That was sort of a flash dip there down to 910. So trying to catch that bounce. I'll probably try to add down here. I'm looking to add off of $9. Added right there at 91. Just added at 91. Try to catch that bounce back up to 10. So that brought my cost basis from 97 way down to 902. Added at 76. Looking for the pop now back up to 95. So this is kind of a little bit of damage control here, trying to buy the dips off the lows. Next bounce spot would be 950 or 850. I'm in at 84. Big rejection though, for sure. So back out, almost break even on that trade at 84. So, you know, at this point, I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty bad drop. I'm not sure that I would want to go back for it. I've got $3,600 or $3,800 of profit. Most of that was from pre-market. I had some profit on that dip down there, but then I gave it back on that trade at 957. Yeah, 56, 58, and 60. Stopped at 52 and 48. Yeah, so I don't know. GMBL, first candle to make a new high would be over 50. I've got a starter there on GMBL at 49. I'm going to try to do a red to green on this for a squeeze up to $8. So over 75 would be an add on GMBL. I want to catch a break at VWAP. The high is 811. So I'm going to put an order at 75 to add on GMBL. So watch over 775. There's 59 on the ask. Looking to add here. I want to catch that pop up through the highs. $43 by 50. Stopped out on it. So that was a $5,000 loss. Yeah, so it puts me red by $1,700 on the day. So going from green to red is always a little bit of a dangerous spot. I have to be careful on that. I have to be very selective about the next trades I take. I'm red by 1,700. NAOV, I'm not sure. The high here is 34. I think it's maybe better to wait just a moment and kind of like after a loss, just step back for a second. NAOV orders at 51. Adding at 47, NAOV. Looking for this to curl up over 350. So we've got 350 on the ask. I want to see that 350 break, and then the halt level right now is 386. So this is breaking the VWAP, and a 1 minute pullback under this level could give a nice trade. So watching over 350 on NAOV. The Pre-market high on this was up at 475. The VWAP is about 327. $325, 326. So I'll be looking for the first candle to make a new high for the break back over the $0.50. I'm going to add here at 34 on a dip trade. So trying to buy this dip for the curl back up, first 1 minute candle to make a new high, back over 350. Low of the pullback of this candle was 16. Got 31 by 32. There's 35, 36. So starting to curl up a little bit there. I want to see it break back over 40 and then to 41, 42. $16 could be a dip, double bottom. I wasn't watching Anvs super closely. The halt time was 35, so resumption will be in about 45 seconds. First 1 minute candle to make a new high is 41. There we go. Looking for the break back over the $0.50. There's 48. I want to see 49. Adding at 48 there. I want to catch that squeeze through 350. 10,000 share buyer at 45. Flushing back down. It's having a hard time breaking that level. ANVS, I'm long, trying to do a dip on it. So bought the dip on ANVS. I want to catch that pop back up over 840. Sold at 31. NAOV, I'm going to watch a dip off of $3. Bought ANVS there, 97. Do another dip back up to 810. Sold. Taking that profit as it pops back up. NAOV I sold the rest of at 21. CRVS I'm watching. High of the current 1 minute candles, 95. High is 610. So one of the things we often say is we want to see it break the whole dollar. Might tap that level, pull back, and then on that dip, next trade is over 610. So on this one, I want to see it break 610. Order is going to be at 612. First 1 minute candle to make a new high on Anvs is over 16. So I'm going to take a starter on Anvs here for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high as it's curling back up and looking for that to squeeze up to 25, 30. It's got a lot of room back to the upside. So downside, there's some downside potential in it, but first 1 minute candle to make a new high